Alright, let's switch to actually playing by the rules now, where we don't resolve these until after the draws have taken place. And we get anywhere in the world sugar. What do I think of this as blue? I'm interested in sugar. I'm going to take it. I draw another one. The Far East, any commodity. Notably, sugar is not present in this. This one doesn't hurt me. I'm going to throw this on the auction. And then the final one is the East Indies, any commodity. Now this gets discarded right off. I get to trigger mine, which is anywhere in the world sugar. Alright. Well, where do I want to be better? It looks like I only have a couple of sugar options here and here. I wouldn't get to play this piece otherwise. So I'm going to put it here because I'm already, that ties me into first place there. And then I get my pumping up here. And now finally we hit the auction, which is any commodity in the Far East. I'm interested in this. Not sure what commodity I'm interested in, but this is kind of the issue, that everybody has their own valuation now at this point. And that's kind of where I'm going to go here, is I can't just say, yeah, they're all worth 100 now, because we're starting to get to the point where people have different worth to something. So in the Far East, blue, green are more interested in this card than anyone else. Two, if you look at the commodities, these are beginning to get limited in the Far East. So I've got a lot of silk, gems, and spice. Those are more interesting to some people than others. Let's take a look. It looks like everybody's interested in the commodity to some extent or another, so I'm not too worried about that. But there is a slight different valuation to the Far East. Of course, here's the thing. Once you get 4 different areas, time to look up the bonus, you get 100,000 guilders. So, you know, everybody's a little interested in each of these cards. They might end up getting them at some point. But if you get closed out of a region, that's 100,000 guilders you have to pass up. That's something to keep in mind. Well, blue got some competition. There were a couple of people interested close to his value, but he ended up jumping in at 120. Not really worrying about other people's valuations too much on this. In the Far East, he can take silk, spice, or gems. That's the bottom 3. Which one am I interested in? I'm most interested in the spice, so I'll grab that. And that card goes away. One thing to note, this poor guy only has 60,000. He can't bid more than that, obviously. Which means most of these auctions, he's pretty much closed out of at this point. It could be that something starts becoming really valueless in everybody's estimation. The longer you go in the game, the less money you're going to make off each card in the long run. But the more money you have to actually allocate. So in a sense, the valuation doesn't change much through the game. Which is to say that you're cutting your profit margin a little tighter as the game goes on. Alright, well, we'll push this forward and see what yellow gets. Americas? Anything. Yellow's not terribly interested in the Americas. And the options for the commodity, it's only one commodity. Do I want to put this up? You know, it doesn't hurt me. So I will. That's kind of the thinking is, well, there may be something I don't want up. Now we get a time. This is just to note the population of Amsterdam. That's the event, as it were. Okay. We get a 2 region. with spice. I'm a little interested in spice. The regions are definitely interesting to me. I'll take this. I get to extend. And some of this, remember, these have to be connected. So some of this kind of matters as to cutting off and territorial control. And I also get a spice putting me in the tie for that. Whoops. Yep. There I go grabbing that, and I'm dumping this. Okay. So these two have gone. And now we have this auction. America's Any Commodity. But there are only 3 commodities. Alright, Orange got that for only 90. And they boosted first place in the sugar. And tied for first. Big 3-way tie in North America. And now we're on purple, who doesn't have money, so they don't want to put anything they want in an auction particularly. Anything in the Far East. So the problem with this one is I could lose first places that I have in a couple of commodities. This is coming up soon. I'm interested in this. I'm actually going to put this on the destroy pile or the discard pile. We get a timer. It's loan time. Now I got to think about everybody's loans. Purple, they're going to take one. They're so short on cash right now. They bought a lot of stuff early on and are really being hindered by this. Now, had I known I was getting that time, maybe I would have put this up for auction. I don't want to take that as my pick. What about other people? You know, that's enough money to buy something with. Am I going to be generating money? A little bit. I'm probably tied for first in the first place, which is worth maybe 80. Do I want more money? Now pass. This guy hasn't won an auction yet. He's not going to take out a loan because he's high on money. Blue, how much money is Blue going to get? Tied for first is 80. They're in a very similar position to Orange, a little worse off. But they're going to make a little bit more money. I again will roll for them, and they're not going to take. And Yellow has quite a bit of money. They're not interested at all. So only one person's taking out a loan. Now this is going to cost him 200 guilders at the end of the game. But that's okay. He's hoping to make that much more money off of it. Ooh, 3 commodities. Bang, I want that because that's going to... I'm ready to hit the commodities bonus right now where I score that. I'm going to make sure... I certainly don't want to put that to auction with my little amount of money. I'm going to make sure that I get first place in these guys, perhaps by pushing them. And then, well, maybe increase some other positioning. And now I'm stuck auctioning off nothing. Time goes. Well, now it's time to score. And we score these. We count up how many commodities total are in it. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11 spaces. This one has 1, 2, 7, 6, 6. All right. So the 11 is our first place, and that's a tie between Orange and Blue. Notice I don't get to use this. I kind of got screwed by the time card in this case because I would have liked to have scored that cash on my turn. I didn't want it to move 2 turns in forward. I'm going to get a decent amount of money here. All right, so for first place tie between Orange and Blue here, that's going to be worth 160 divided by 2 is going to be 80,000 guilders each. Except that's Orange and Blue, not purple. Second place, I think, was this one at 7. These two are both at 6. Or second place commodity. That commodity, purple wins that one, getting 80. Take some good cash. And yellow comes in second, getting only 40. And I have 50s. Cool. Alright. Third place. This is a tie for third within them, but the tiebreaker is done in numerical order. So here we have a three-way tie for first place in spice at the third. It's worth 100. Divided by 3 comes out to 30, 3 1/3 each. But it's going to be 30 each to blue, green, and someone else. Yellow. And now our final is 40 for purple and only 20 for blue. Wonderful money. It's not bad. It's just hard to reach while I'm on camera. And we've gotten through the scoring round. And again, the game could end just by these drawing. Okay. And we're going to be auctioning anywhere in the world that looks like gems to my poor eyes. Now I get to score these, and maybe I'm less interested in those first place positions now. So what I'm going to do is, position myself better for getting that extra 100,000 guilders. This was discarded. And now we have the auction on gems. Who's interested in it? Well, probably purple and yellow mostly. It's anywhere in the world though, so that is probably fully valuable to everyone, that part of the commodity choice. The gems themselves, well, again, getting spaces on here is of some worth. You want to get that bonus. Oh no, it's not 100,000 guilders for getting these, it's a warehouse. Oops. And the ever anxious to click the button purple throws 120,000 in. No, I'm not giving him any kind of specific bonus or anything on this. This is just happening. He may learn a lesson or not. So he gets to go anywhere in the world with a gem. Now, gems are his little special thing. There's a lot of places he can place it. He can place it in South America, but it's not terribly valuable to him. North America is valuable to him. Or he could grab the last gem here and get his 100,000 guilders. That's a good question. We're coming up on warehouses and then world. I'm going to take my 100,000 guilders for connecting that up and grab the gem that goes with it. And that moves our turn marker here. I should actually have them in this order, I guess. And we draw some more cards. Another timer event. Everybody's going to get to place a commodity. We've done this before. Orange has to go first. Where do they want theirs? They'll grab first place. This is dangerous because they're getting towards the top of the chart, but they may be more interested in the extra warehouse if they could be careful. Okay. Green. Green, yeah, they'll pump theirs up. Blue. Blue is almost at the bonus warehouse. Do they want to push for that? Yeah, they're going to push for that and grab themselves some gems. Yellow. See, the next commodity scoring is not all that far ahead, so we'll push that. And now purple gets to go. And purple's going to go here, giving themselves an additional warehouse. They'll put the warehouse here. That's a bridging, so they get 40,000 guilders for that. Now these can go away. As you get late in the game, you get these lose things markers. Alright. And that should be it for all the sets. We'll draw again. Another time event. Now we score warehouses. Very much like how we scored these suckers. Let's take a look at them. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this and this are in the lead. This one will go first because it has the lower number. Alright. Blue and yellow are tied there. Let's look at the values. They're always the same, aren't they? Until we hit the final one where they get boosted significantly. Okay, so that's 80 for blue and green, or no, not blue, yeah, blue and yellow. 80 each. Yellow's just rolling in money here. Good positions. Okay. The second place is going to be purple and green. And they're going to share 120, so they each get 60. Okay, the third place one here is orange alone, who gets 60. Sometimes it's better to share a place in a higher valued one than win some of these smaller ones. And 40 for purple, which seems, you know, quite a deal, right? I just have one pip in there and I get that much money. That's pretty decent. And now our final one, only yellow is there. Now he doesn't get first and second place. He just gets the 40,000 for first place. All right, and we keep drawing. Okay, it's sugar anywhere in the world. How much do I care about sugar as the orange player? I like sugar. I don't terribly want to give that to anyone. I'll throw that one away. I just don't really, I don't want to spend my own card or my money to try to improve my sugar, but I don't want anyone else getting it. This one's going to be gems over in these. Now, I'm not terribly interested in this. I'll put it for auction. And the final one is gems. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see. Is that gems or silk? That looks like silk. Maybe I don't want to put that there. Am I interested in silk? I am a little interested in silk, but no, I'm not going to want that. Let's look at this one. This one, unfortunately, is indeed gems. And that'll be anywhere in the world, and I've got to take that as my bonus. I was hoping for something that works better. But this isn't too bad. I'm interested in the world locations. I'm not really interested in warehouses at this moment. Okay, so I get my gems in the world. Where do I want to be? I could get first place here. I could get first place here. This one's very interesting. We'll go with that. And we get a gems marker. I'm actually more interested in the silk than the gems. And now we go to this warehouse and the auction on the... Yellow's been very cautious, but they just managed to spend 120 on this sucker. I'm not quite sure what they're doing there. They have their choice of locations. I'm thinking one of the bridge locations here. This one looks pretty safe in the sense that I can't imagine anyone playing here. So I'll go with that. The only problem with this one is I'm never going to get any bonus off that. So no, I don't want to do that. I'll play here. I can probably get this space, and if not, the bridges aren't necessarily the biggest thing. This is really a green space, and no one else should go there. Now I get my silk, except I hope I paid from the right person. Yeah, I did. Alright, and that discards this card. These move forward. And we got green. We're most of the way through, or we're about a third of the way through the game already. Luckily we get another timer. And now we each get to build a warehouse. Where do you want your warehouse is kind of the question. Green can grab a quick 40 here. No big bonus to that in terms of placement in here, but maybe they can get this space and compete a little bit. This whole area has been carved up so much that it doesn't look terribly valuable, but these others, I like my money. I like getting the free cash at this point rather than maybe the warehouses. I don't know. Blue's turn. They'll definitely expand into here. Well, yeah, warehouses aren't scoring for a while. Let's get some cash. Yellow? Anywhere in the world, remember? Well, I can challenge blue here, increase my ability, and get the cash. And that definitely looks worthwhile. I guess it's important to kind of keep in mind what the next event is. Okay, on to purple. Purple could increase their holding here and position themselves so they could conceivably have these kind of dual tracks here that are worth something. I think they want that. And now orange. Well, orange is in first place here already. They want to expand their holdings into the last kind of free area, although other people are getting in there. And we keep drawing. More time. Now we score the world. Same mechanism for scoring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this clearly is going to be the most full area with 6 of these. 4 here, 3 here, 5 here. So this will be second, third, fourth. All right. What are our places? Well, orange has first here, so they get a quick 100,000, and that's going to help them a lot. They haven't been scoring much, I think. Blue and purple will split 60,000. Now we go to the second. Could be over here. Blue and green split the first place of 120, so they get 60,000 each. Getting a pile that's out of control there. And then third place, I'll put this here for 4. Third place here, orange and purple split. They'll each get 50. Sounds like my video's ready. And now finally, yellow gets 40 and purple gets 20 on this last one. And we keep drawing. East Indies, any commodity. Now, green's not terribly interested in the East Indies. They're interested in any commodity, especially stuff from the East Indies where they can get their top thing. Do they want to trash this? Well, what's our next thing? Our next thing is the commodities. See, we'd like to get a 3 commodities card, so I'm going to throw that. I get another time. Now everybody gets a world placement, starting with green. Where do we want to be? Well, where in the world do we want to be? I really do like getting more spice. The question is, do I want to be down here or over here? Or even up in the Americas. This is the only time I'll get to the Americas. Osley's in there. I better grab that because otherwise that's 100,000 guilders that I won't be getting for all 4 areas. Right? I don't know. I think so. That one little rule, the bonuses, is the thing that causes me the most trouble to remember. Okay, so blue position-wise, well, the world's not coming up for scoring until up here. Things move kind of fast, as we see. What about commodities? They're happening sooner. I could get first place in the first commodity if I can find a place where I can get sugar. And I can find a place where I can get sugar. So I'll do that. Yellow. Again, commodities might be the more important thing here. I could tie for first on spice if I go in somewhere. Now there's a lot of spice here, but I've got the number 1 position there as it is. So I'll go with this one. Purple. Purple's kind of leading in a couple of these. And, well, they're out of the running in the others right now. What can I do? I don't care as much about commodity at this point. I can't improve my position here because it's full. I can improve here though. Or here. How about I tie myself for first in here? Over to orange. Orange is kind of low on all commodities except sugar. I need to get the sugar up. I can get sugar up. I think this is the last sugar on the board. Here. And that gets me into a new area. Okay, I think there's nothing else there. So we keep drawing. And we have a warehouse, which gets scored not too long in the future. And spices. What does green think of spices? Green's very interested in spices. They're interested in warehouses coming up soon. We'll take this one. Which means we get time for an auction. We score these suckers again. I'm going to bail away and just throw the money down. You can kind of see where it's going to, you know, how it's going to lay out. You've seen this go through a couple of times. And we keep pulling. East Indies, anything. Now this automatically goes to the auction. Trash pile. I will be taking, oops, a spice commodity. Why did I want this? This must be green's turn. Yeah. Okay. A spice commodity and a warehouse. I got so confused. Tie for first here. Tie for second here. No room for expansion here. This looks the best because it lets me get up into there maybe. Although purple will cut that off and then I end up only there. And now to an auction. And I've got to start wondering if my valuations have been correct. And this is something that's really nice with the multiplayer game, is that people stop and think, now wait a minute, you know, how much of this cash, how much am I making off this cash? Is it really kind of flat what the auction value is? Because at this point, anything you do, now in this case, let's say I'm picking up the lead in the East Indies. How much is that really worth? It's hard to judge sometimes. So if I score over here, well, how important is the East Indies? It's fairly rich, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. And it has an extra space on, say, the Americas, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as does that. So there's sort of a, actually more than one extra over here. There's sort of an inherent bias as to which ones are going to become more valuable in the long term. That you can factor in. You can also factor in that that your pips on here are going to score more than once, but it's very hard to tell just how much any given piece on the board is going to be to you. How much are you going to make on it? So let me calculate for Green, since it's his turn, what he thinks the East Indies is worth to him, to give an example of that later in the game here. First of all, placement on the board. I'm going to need one of these in the East Indies if I want to make my 100,000. How important is that? Well, that's been kind of factored in my thoughts. Now here, I'm not going to gain anything there, but on commodities, I can pick any commodity I like in the East Indies. Well, any commodity I like means spice, and I'm kind of interested in keeping spice out of Yellow's hands. How interested? Okay, well, let's see what my next valuation would be for that. First of all, we don't know where spice is going to land on the track. It looks like it's about second place right now. So a second place finish on spice, well, let's say I keep the first place finish, that's worth 80. But I've got most of that. I'm going to be down to 60 if I get second place. So it's only worth about 20 guaranteed there. The rest is all kind of an assumed value. But no, it's not really only worth 20, because it's also worth this, which is about double that. So right now I'm at like 60. Does it have, how much additional residual value does it have? That's a question to ask here, because that residual value then is also, well, I'm getting this, which I'm going to need one of them to get to my 100,000. So I don't know, that's maybe worth 20 or so. So I'm getting to, hey, it's around 80,000. And that's the maximum. All right? That's what it's worth to me at this point. So where I've been playing saying, well, it's worth about 100,000 if I'm interested. Well, here's something I am interested in, and it's only scoring around 80. That 100,000 was based on like 120,000. Here, if the value is 80, maybe I should be looking around 60. I can't do this kind of detailed addition on every single choice that I make for every player, though. And that's the problem, and that's why I kind of went with this baseline. But I'm going to look at everybody's valuation of this and see maybe the baseline valuation has actually dropped significantly. You can never tell. But it could be that that early money is just, early placements are just too important, and it's not worth spending your money, because your money is what you're going for in victory conditions. Overall, after looking at numerous people's positions here, I decided it really wasn't worth that much to anybody anymore. That the values are decreasing a little bit overall. Not entirely, though. So, for example, blue, well, blue didn't get the message. They had a baseline of 80 and went up to 120 on it and picked it up. But we don't know how much it's worth overall. Now they're just pretty much stuck with what they pick up here. It's going to be an East Indies and it's going to be a spice, which they're not terribly interested in. I actually should have had their baseline lower. And speaking of which, we're going to move this over to blue. I'm going to continue this vid a little longer, but I need to take a break. I want to do this in this vid and one more is basically what I'm looking at. Well, here we are. I got a little bit of time to kill before work, So let's start drawing for blue's turn, and we get a timer event. This is everybody gets a commodity. Our commodities market is some distance away. I think what blue wants to do is push this, because that gets them a warehouse, and the warehouse market is right up there. Now the question is whether they want a second place here or a first place here. I think we'll go for the guaranteed first. I could calculate that out actually. What the hell? This is going to be... Yeah, because it ups the value of this one too, doesn't it? No, I don't know. Maybe it does. It's not worth thinking that hard. What does yellow want? And I get the bonus warehouse because now I'm 2 in each. Yellow would like... We'll go for a tied for first here. Part of the reason you go for ties, the other person can always expend their effort against you. But if enough people are doing stuff like that, they may not have the easy option there. They may have to pick between things. Purple's in pretty decent condition in the lead in these guys. Oh, they've already got their 2 in each. I think they're going to boost here. Orange. Orange can tie for second. And finally green. Well, green's going to take that boost ahead and grab first. Alright. We still haven't done anything yet. Spices anywhere in the world. Spices aren't terribly interesting to blue. Anywhere in the world is interesting to just about anyone, though. That could get me this. Nope, no spices there. Actually, all it could get is this. That's a boost to first place. It's of some interest to me. Do I want to put it in the auction, or do I want to burn it? I'll put it up on the auction. Not sure it's the best thing I'm going to get, but... Okay, a warehouse. Now this could be a warehouse here, and silk, which could give me a first place finish. That looks pretty good to me. I'll take the warehouse here, pushing me into second, and a push on the silk too. Ah, shit. I'm resolving that as soon as it happens. No big deal there. And now we end up throwing out a gems anywhere in the world. We get rid of these 2 cards. And now we go to the auction. Okay, green got in there for 90. High bids otherwise were 70. A couple of people had 70. I know the reason why I want to do these as they happen. Why it's natural. Because I just figured out what it's worth to me. On camera, no less. You know, looking at the card, thinking about it. And then I put it down, and then I gotta think, wait, what was I thinking again? That's one thing I don't like about games that have kind of delayed actions. Once I figure something out, I need to act on it. If I can't start acting on it, I forget what it was, especially when there's no big narrative to describe it all. Here are... Yeah, I want to put this piece there to get me that. It's not like, oh, I want to invest heavily in South America. No, it's all got to do with the balances everywhere. It's a Knizia design, and they're always about balances. But that's kind of troublesome to me. It would be less so, obviously, if I was playing just one player. Alright, on to yellow. And we get a time clock. And we'll score the warehouses. I'll come back after the scores are completed. No reason to do the counting in front of you. Well, the warehouse distribution looks remarkably even in a lot of ways, and it was. Everybody made 80 or 90,000 guilders off that. It's a little extra effort to keep track of how much each person has made over that scoring round, but I think it's enlightening to see how balanced the game kind of can be. The warehouses definitely look more balanced than other factors, though. Alright, we keep drawing more time. And now everybody gets to gain a warehouse. Alright, warehouses are a long ways away. In fact, there'll be a destruction there, and then the final scoring only. Which means this is maybe the time to grab a final warehouse for yellow. That's worth 100,000. Now I have to give that 100,000 back if I delete one of these 1-point warehouses, but we'll see. It's one reason why building the bonuses may not be that important. If I don't need this for other reasons, I may not want to keep it there. But it is worth 100,000, which is about as much as I'm going to get off warehouses here, probably. A single one. On to purple. Purple doesn't see much that they can gain off them. They'll just drop down here. Probably to be deleted. Orange. Green will expand into another area. Looking for that 100,000 maybe. And now blue. Blue could expand here, but that's not going to do much. Let us too look for that 100,000, and we'll look for it over here. Alright, and we keep drawing. Alright, spice and a warehouse. Now, yellow is, or sorry, sugar. Yellow isn't even in sugar. That doesn't mean they don't want it, but they're not thrilled with it. And a warehouse in one of these two zones doesn't really do them much. This is a, it doesn't hurt me, I'm going to put it up for auction card. Sometimes you put something up for auction that you want. This is useless, but I'm worried about something that'll hurt my positioning, especially on perhaps the global stage. I don't know. Okay, Africa, anything. That would be gems or silk. Gems doesn't help terribly. Silk wouldn't get me much there. Getting into Africa isn't really too big a bonus. I'm not going to get all 4 continents. I'm going to pitch this and hope I draw something better. And I get a warehouse here and a commodity. Alright. Well, that's what we take. A warehouse here, and the commodity, what do we want? We'll boost our condition here in this one. And now it's auction time for a warehouse in one of these with sugar. And that might be worth a fairly low bid in the end. We'll see. It's worth 50 to blue to protect the space in the warehouse, but most importantly for the sugar space. Commodities get scored twice, unlike warehouses, which are only getting scored once here. That bails that away. We move down to purple. A warehouse with anything over here. Now, purple's probably not going to get that 100,000. They're going to put this up for auction. I'm not sure they want it, but they're certainly sure. Well, they do want it, but they're certainly sure they don't want to use their guaranteed trump on it. And it's a scoring round for locations in the world. We'll come back with a report on what people. One more variance in the score of the worldwide locations. Maybe because the thinking's not as clear there. contiguousness and stuff like that makes the warehouses easier. The top getters are in the 100, 150 over here for it, but some got as little as 30 or 40. This guy got 30, and that really shows, you know, a difference in the balance. And then the third thing is down here. We haven't scored that in a little while, so we'll have to see how that works out. But we keep drawing, and we give more time. Now everybody's got to lose a warehouse. And this is kind of a tough thing to choose. Purple will lose this one because it's probably less valuable than that set. Coming in. But here's the difference. This is a guaranteed second place. This is a guaranteed second place. I'll lose one off there. Okay. Orange. This one looks less important. Green. Now, green's got the lead here, but they're close to their 100,000, so they're going to ditch one from there. Blue. Blue has an incredible lead here that they can toss. Yellow. Yellow's in second even if they throw. They don't want to get rid of that because that'll make them lose the bridge bonus, but even if they throw that. Alright, and hopefully I didn't give up any bridges there. Finish up the card draws. Far East anything. Well, our world score has already, we've only got the final game score for this. So that's become less valuable. And any commodity, the only commodity available is silk, which could get me a first place on silk. Interesting or not? That may be the best thing I can do. So I'll pick that, draw trash. Well, I didn't get to score my bonus silk because of the timer. So I guess we score the world commodities. I'll be back with the very tight scores on this, somewhere around 90 or 100 for most people, 100 on green. This guy got the low at 60, so you can see not much of a span there. Now we keep doing card drawing. And we're just drawing for a discard here. Alright. And these stupid little tiny cards, I really despise them. Alright, Far East anything, and that's purple gets to take that. There really isn't an option there. Doesn't matter which location, they're all the same. And then we have an auction, and who knows what the value on this is now. There's no more valuation, so everything's gone down in price, right? It's going to be this space, any commodity. I went for a big 30, but that was because blue did not realize something that they needed to know. Or maybe needed to know, which is they're not going to get first place in this area. They overvalued it a little bit, thinking, oh, I'm in second. Oh, shit. I wonder if I gave them this bridge. They are going to get first there. I don't know if yellow got that bridge, because, like, the pieces slid. Oh, well. Yeah, so now they're tied for first there. At least temporarily. And they also grab first place in a commodity, which seems worthwhile to me. And we pass this over. Although I don't usually like to do this, I'm going to load this up at this point. And that'll probably leave for a shorter video at the end, but that's okay.